Are those pain stars spinning around your heads?
Huh? What? What's this?
Cuphead and Mug Man have returned to Netflix, and they've come equipped with plenty of Easter eggs to uncover. So grab your favorite cup, and let's get into it.
Come on, I'll prove it to you. I'll get my coat.
Number 1, Mrs. Potts. The story of Cuphead is a tale as old as time, and it looks like this house is too. From the shape to the colors, this house looks just like Mrs. Potts from the Disney classic Beauty and the Beast. We just wish that house was also voiced by Angela Lansbury. Number 2, Goofy. From his face to his outfit, it's clear that this little guy is a young Goofy.
I told you so. Fork it over.
Little Goofy is just as cute as we'd imagined, so it's too bad that he gets his balloon popped by the devil himself. It's okay though, we know this guy ends up having a pretty good life. Number 3, Minnie Mouse. Since we just saw a bit of a time-traveling Disney nod with Little Goofy, is it possible that this is old Minnie? This old woman looks like she could be an elderly version of Minnie Mouse. And what would be a better final Easter egg in a season chock full of animation references than an appearance by Mrs. Mouse herself?
That was kinda cool.
Number 4, Willy Wonka. Sugarland has a chocolate river. This must be a nod to the most famous chocolate river of all time, the one in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Come to think of it, that's really the only other chocolate river that comes to mind.
Hey, I guess you're right.
Number 5, The Little Mermaid. When Mugman is transformed into Mugbeard, he gives us major flashbacks when he rows his rowboat up to the mermaid. This reminds us of another romantic mermaid rowboat moment, that kiss-to-go scene in The Little Mermaid. Just like Ariel and Eric though, these two never get to kiss. Number 6, E.T.
Who is that kid?
Even if you've somehow never watched the classic movie E.T., we've all seen this visual before. This image of the bike in front of the sun is a definite E.T. reference to that famous flying bike scene. Number 7, Tom and Jerry. Cuphead and Mug Man have an interesting prison mate. This dog looks a lot like Spike, a popular character from Tom and Jerry. It does look like he's gotten some new tattoos since we last saw him though. Number 8, Pete. There's a man in jail with Cuphead and Mug Man in the first episode, and he looks a lot like another classic Disney character. He looks just like Pete, who happens to be the earliest recurring character in Disney cartoons.
Wait, that was you?
Well, if you never heard of it, that's your problem.
And it's really no surprise he's in jail. He was actually the first ever Disney villain. Number 9, Julius the Cat. It looks like there's another familiar face in the Inkwell Penitentiary. Julius the Cat is a famous 1920s animated Disney character, and by the looks of this scene, he's landed himself behind bars too. Number 10, Hilda Berg. Hilda Berg is a famous boss from the OG Cuphead game. While she has much less of a role in the Cuphead Show, she does appear in the sky. It's just a little reminder that she's always watching over Cuphead and Mug Man, and could come back to fight them anytime. Number 11, Angry Mob. In episode 2, there are a lot of familiar faces in the angry mob that's after Miss Chalice.
Maybe that's your angry mob now.
A few different characters from installments of Cuphead past make a rather unfriendly appearance. There's Screwdriver Clerk, Pork Rind, Sergeant Gumbo Gumble, and Mac. Hi everybody! Number 12, Ghost Chalice.
Hiya, fellas!
Ooh, spooky. When Miss Chalice becomes a ghost, this is a reference to the ghost version of Miss Chalice in the Cuphead game. You may know her better as the legendary Chalice. Number 13, Number 1 Captain. Briny Beard is the world's best captain. In the 3rd episode, Briny Beard has a Number 1 Captain mug, which is definitely a play on those classic Number 1 dad mugs. Number 14, Mickey's Parrot. Parrot want a cracker? Briny's parrot looks like Mickey's parrot from the classic Disney cartoon that's aptly named Mickey's Parrot. We think Briny's parrot deserves his own cartoon, too. Number 15, Ursula. The Sea Beast, as the other characters call her, sure reminds us of another sea beast.
No!
We're talking about Ursula in her lair singing "Poor Unfortunate Souls." These two aquatic ladies would definitely be friends if they met. Or arch enemies. One of the two. Number 16, Ribby and Croaks. Those two frogs playing on the seesaw? Well, they're actually Cuphead legends. That's Ribby and Croaks, bosses from the Cuphead game. Number 17, Lucien. The new light bulb guy looks pretty different from Lucien from the Cuphead game. We still think it has to be him though. Come on, how many light bulb people could there be in one universe? Number 18, Candyland. Sugarland looks just like the iconic board game Candyland, and it's pretty obvious they're supposed to be the same thing. Come on, Sugarland, Candyland, Number 19, Sleeping Beauty Cake. There's something very familiar about this cake. Oh right, it looks a lot like that famously unstable cake from Sleeping Beauty. Does anyone else wish they could have a slice of this thing? Number 20, Beethoven. Music history lovers definitely caught this one. The record player man is named Ludwig, and what better namesake for a character all about music than Beethoven himself? Number 21, Cleo. This fish in a fishbowl on the piano reminds us a lot of another fish in a fishbowl. It looks like Cleo from Pinocchio. Number 22, Pain and Panic. These characters who act as the devil's minions look like the guys who act as Hades' minions. They look just like Pain and Panic from Disney's Hercules. In fact, we haven't seen those two in a while. That could be them now. They do seem to have the same morals. Number 23, The Godfather. It's pretty hard to make any mention of a horse head without our minds jumping straight to The Godfather. While the Cuphead Show's horse head scene is way less disturbing than the one from The Godfather, Cuphead is still pretty freaked out by it, and we think that's totally fair.
Never happened. I ain't afraid of no Haymay's horse head.
Number 24, Cinderella Birds. In a far less scary and more kid-friendly reference, these birds look just like the adorable birds in Cinderella. And thankfully, their heads are still attached. Number 25, It's a Small World. Is that song that's playing in Sugarland stuck in your head? It sounds a lot like Disney's famous, or should we say infamous, It's a Small World song. Number 26, The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Bring on the classics. The Cuphead Show loves referencing classic animation, and there isn't much that's more classic than the 1940 short The Sorcerer's Apprentice. When Cuphead and Mug Man create decoy versions of themselves that quickly fall apart, these buckets remind us a lot of the buckets from The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Number 27, Campbell's Soup. Few images are quite as iconic as that classic Campbell's Soup can. That's why we knew this Campbell's Soup can the second we saw it. Number 28, Wicked Stepmother. They're never fun. When we get a sneak peek into the devil's bedroom, it looks a lot like that famous scene when Cinderella goes into her stepmother's bedroom. It's pretty fitting that the stepmother's sleeping situation looks a lot like the devil's, since she named her own cat Lucifer. Oh, and also she's totally evil.
That was swell!
So be honest, did you catch all of those Easter eggs? Was there anything you spotted that we didn't mention? We want to know all about it in the comments. And if you enjoyed going on this Easter egg hunt with us, be sure to like and subscribe to The Things Animated for more videos about your animated favorites.